from my noisy basement. You can hear my birds, hear the fan blowing. Hey, I know it's been a while. Just a small update on a few things. I haven't posted here for a while. The old domino effect. You fall into a hole, and something else happens because of that, and then you have the domino effect, and before you know it, it's like you're buried and wondering how in the hell you're going to dig yourself out. But hey, I'm still here, still upright above ground. So here at my workbench in my basement here. Oh, let me show you. This is my yes, the odd box. This is a marble monument that a friend of mine made years ago and gave me. So, but anyhow, just show you one of my projects I've been working on. Yeah, I know it's a little shaky and noisy, but what the hell. This, as you can see, there's a little stereo system on my workbench, and this is a project that I've been working on, and it started with this turntable. This is a Kenwood turntable that I found at the local Goodwill for $2.99, and it's got a little damage on it. It's got like some cracks on this, but it's still intact. I had to do a little bit of repair work. I believe that's an Audio-Technica cartridge that's on there. A couple of wires had broken, and I had to resolder the wires. The belt was intact. I had to take it apart and lubricate and clean some of the contact parts, but there it is. And over here, this is an Optimus realistic 25 watt stereo amp that cost about $10. Now I bought this, I had this some years ago, but this is nice. It's got a mono switch on it. It's got connections for ceramic or magnetic cartridges. These are some Polk. Oh, there's my picture of my lovely wife. Real women drive trucks. She's a truck driver. But anyhow, some Polk audio monitors that my sister had given me. 5-inch woofer with a soft dome tweeter. And so there, for probably less than $20, this is a killer little stereo. So hey, I'm proud of that. It's one of my projects that I've been working on. Also, while I'm at it, if you subscribers of mine or anybody that's watching this video, I'm going to ask you a little favor. There is a YouTube vinyl community friend, is Randy, and the name of his channel is Dead Wax66. I'll put a link below. And I've always enjoyed his channel. He's did some killer live streaming videos. He's a big Psych fan. He loves the Ramones. He's a guitar guy too. But due to some recent policy changes in YouTube, he's having trouble doing his live streams now because he has to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do the type of live stream that he likes to do. So do me a favor. If you guys like me, you'll like Randy. Go to his channel, Dead Wax66, and subscribe. And I really enjoyed his streams. He's always interesting. He's got an interesting sense of humor and a killer collection of records too. So do me a favor and do that. Help this guy out. Okay. A few more things. I'm going to fade this out, and I'll go to do some more vinyl stuff. All right. See you in a minute. All right, if you notice, there's been a change in scenery. I'm now in my son's room at my dad's house. I've come over here to look after my dad this afternoon and finish up this video. I've got some finds I just want to show you right now. And we'll start with Record Store Day. Today is the 14th, the day after Record Store Day. I I went yesterday evening to my son's store. They do record store day, and I didn't have a whole lot of money. You know, everything that I particularly would have loved to have gotten was already gone, or they'd never got it. I would have loved to have got the Dragonfly album. That is one that would have been high on my list, but, you know, good luck ever finding that one again. But I went over what was left over and found this. This is the Procol Harum mono reissue of Procol Harum's first album. Really happy to find this one. Here's my original copy, and I've had this for many years. And if you can see the scourge of the record collector right there, electronically reprocessed stereo. I mean, you know, in my opinion, whoever come up with that idea, I know it wasn't the artists, but the record company, whoever, those people need to be drawn and quartered. They need to be tied to the whipping post and whipped. They need to be arrested and tried for crimes against humanity, you know, for ruining you know, these great works of art in terms of trying to make a few extra pennies. So regardless of that, I was so happy when I saw that they were reissuing this, but then when I saw that it was mono recorded from the original American LP master, I said, I've got to get that. And it's beautiful album. Here's the inner sleeve. I think this inner sleeve is kind of captures, I think, some of the European releases. Beautiful colored vinyl. It's a 2-record set. So I want to thank my son, because this was a little more pricey than I could really afford, but he came through and helped me out. He went in half with me, and I was real tickled for that. So anyway, so onwards. Now here are some recent finds that I've got from some recent digs. Got the Vanilla Fudge Renaissance. Real happy to find a copy of this. I love Vanilla Fudge. I have their first album, and this is the only other one I think that I really wanted to get. So I was real tickled to get that one at a really good price. Here's another one for my Exotica collection. I love Exotica records, particularly, you know, Les Baxter, Martin Denny, even some Henry Mancini. Some of those old Exotica albums are wonderful, and this was a nice one here, The Sacred Idol. And I got a real good deal on that one. And all right, been wanting this one for a long time. Classic 70s electronic space rock from Tangerine Dream, the Phaedra album. This is an original American pressing on the Virgin label. Beautiful album. Tickled to find that. Incense and Peppermints, the Strawberry Alarm Clock. This is an original. I'm not sure if it's a first press, but it's a very early press of this album. My good friend Scotty helped me with this one. It was a bit pricey for me too, out of my range, but I had a bunch of records that I was going to try to sell, and I made arrangements with my friend Scotty. Let him have those records, and he more or less gave me the money to pay for this. So it was all good, all good. He loved the records he got, and I love this one. And here's another one that I've been looking for years. A nice original King Crimson, Three of a Perfect Pair. I've got a lot of King Crimson. There was a trilogy of albums they had in the early 80s. It was Discipline, Beat, and Three of a Perfect Pair. And I've got a copy of Discipline, a copy of Beat, but I did not have this one, so I was really, really happy, and it's a decent price. And once again, a little bit more than what I wanted to pay, but it was local, it's original, and it's in pristine condition. So I just jumped on it. I said, hey, I'll do without something. I'll do without a meal or two, or cut back on some gas or something. But anyway, hey, tickled to get that. All right, now, the rest of these are all my bargain bin finds. These are thrift store, dollar bin, $3 bin records. None of these cost more than $3. And as a matter of fact, most of these were in the 25 to 50 cent range. Okay, so I've got a story about this one. Scott Walker 3. I was unfamiliar with Scott Walker. Okay, I know that a lot of the vinyl community people probably know about Scott Walker, but I went to my local Salvation Army right here in town where my dad lives, and they'd got some more records in, 25 cents. So they had a bunch of somebody had brought in a bunch of foreign language albums. Okay, you know, songs in German, songs in Italian, you know, songs in French. And this was like right in the middle of all that. And I just kind of like, well, this is probably one of, and I was not interested in that kind of stuff. So this was around April 1st. This has been a few weeks back. So I went and picked up a few albums for a quarter, and I came home. And then so I was curious about that Scott Walker, but I went on YouTube, and the first thing I saw on YouTube was a post from Derek Vaughn. And he had this post, it was Scott Walker, rest in peace. You know, and I thought, wow, that's kind of timely. And then he was on there and he was showing his Scott Walker collection and was talking about how he loved Scott Walker and how influential Scott Walker was, and how Scott Walker 3 was one of his favorite albums. And I thought, damn. So I immediately just got in my car, drove back down to the Salvation Army and picked this up. And this is on the Smash label, and this is a promo. This is a white label promo of Scott Walker 3, and it's got a different cover from the one that Derek was showing. There is probably a more famous cover that's got like a picture of a big picture of an eyeball with the reflection of Scott Walker's face in the eyeball. But man, this album, once I listened to it, Scott Walker, this particular music here is like 25 years ahead of its time. Scott Walker had an amazing voice. It was like a lot of the goth artists of the 80s, even like David Bowie, had that sound. And this guy had that sound like, you know, in the mid-60s. Awesome. So this was definitely a great find for 25 cents, and one hell of a story to remember Scott Walker by. So now I'm a fan. I need to find some more of his records. All right, enough of that. Let's go on with the rest of my thrift store bargain bin finds. Here's a nice one, Peppermint Rainbow. Okay, this is a nice copy that I found. Peppermint Rainbow's kind of a vocal pop, maybe almost kind of soft psych, but more popish. Pretty good stuff. Oh, this is a hoot here. These two albums here I found. This is Sunset Surf. And here is, let me see, Hank Thompson's Brazos Valley Boys. And both of these are instrumental albums. But what is really so cool about these records is that they both feature Glenn Campbell as the lead guitarist. Okay? This album here, Sunset Surf, was apparently one of these albums put together, recorded by the famous Wrecking Crew, because you can tell it's got like Tedesco, Carol Kay on bass, plus Glenn Campbell on lead guitar. Great freaking album for I think I paid like $2 or $3 for this one. Here's one. This one was $0.25, and this one here also features Glenn Campbell and Merle Travis. This is more of a Western swing instrumental, but man, this album sounds great, and you can tell when Glenn Campbell brings in his lead guitar work. Man, he's really rocking up the Western swing. Oh, and this is a killer bunch of stuff here. These are all a bunch of hot rod and trucking albums that I found in the thrift bin. This is Hollywood Drag by the Darts. Really cool instrumental stuff here. And this is Johnny Bond. Now this is not instrumental, but this has got like Hot Rod Lincoln, Hot Rod Surfing, a sidecar cycle, Fireball. These are really cool. And then these right here are a bunch of Truckers albums. This is Thunder on the Road, and this features Johnny Bond, Red Sovine, Minnie Pearl. It's beautiful. And here's the Phantom 309, Red Sovine. Some great Truckers songs here, and here's a good one too, Truck Stop. I really dig that cover on there. I don't know if you're familiar with what a lot lizard is, but it's like, a lot lizard is predominantly featured in this. If any of you people are unfamiliar with trucking terms, just look up lot lizard. Yeah, you'll see. And this is a cool album. Like I said, all these were 25 cents. Now this is a cool one here. Offbeat Folk Songs by Bob Gibson. And what caught me about this album was it looks almost like a Blue Note, with the lettering and the artwork and the coloration and stuff. This is on the Riverside label. Okay? This is some really cool folk songs. I think this was from probably from the late 1950s. And the vinyl it's kind of a VG minus, G plus possibly, but it plays okay and it's still enjoyable. But this is a cool find for $0.25. Here's another one, The Vogues. It's another one of those vocal pop kind of 1960s things. It's not really pop psych, but it's got kind of that sound. It kind of reminds me of what was that group? I can't think of it. But anyway, this was a cool find too. I really enjoyed this album. Some country, Porter Wagner. You gotta have a license. A couple of Buck Owens. Together Again, My Heart Skips a Beat. And I was stoked to get this one too. I've got a Tiger by the Tail. Beautiful country albums. And then another Gentleman Jim Reeves. This has got There's a Heartache Following Me, which was the very first song that I ever learned to sing when I was starting to perform in bands. That I had to come up with a song in a country band, and that was the first song that I ever learned to sing for a band. So I was really happy to find this one, a little story there. And Here was a nice one in the 25-cent bin. This is, I don't know if you're familiar, some of you people collect these Audio Fidelity. This is from 1973. This is Marty Gold and his orchestra, Sounds Impossible. And if you notice, it's got kind of that switched on cover that was prevalent for a lot of electronic pop albums back in the late 60s, early 70s. This album features this guy, Donald Home, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. But he plays a quarter-vox. A quarter-vox is basically an electric accordion that apparently he can use to trigger synthesizers, and it's also apparently also has a lot of non-traditional sounds to it. So this album's pretty cool. It's along the lines of a lot of those switched on albums. It's got covers of rock songs from the day, like Spinning Wheel, Classical Gas. It's got the overture from Tommy, which is pretty cool. So all instrumental, great find for a quarter. And I think these next two, The Horse by The Ventures, another nice bargain bin find. Tickle, and this is in excellent shape too. I enjoy The Venture, so it's one I did not have. And finally, another one from my Exotica collection, another 25-cent record here, Martin Denny Exotica Volume 2. Love that. I think Sandy was the model's name, and she's prominent on a lot of Exotica albums. Not just Martin Denny, but a lot of I think even on some of the RCA Living Stereo covers, she was on there, and famous model with famous albums. So anyway, there you have it. A little update, some finds. Don't forget to look up Dead Wax66 and help my friend Randy out. Help him get 1,000 subs. And I've been missing his his live streams. I'm wearing my Glass Harp shirt. See if you can see that. Randy's a big Glass Harp fan too, so I did that in honor of him. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I hope all's cool with you guys, and until next time, peace and love.